Thank you for coming, and we're gonna do a filming of a full build out from beginning to end to kind of show you guys the process of what we do. As you can see, this is actually gonna be one of our rental vans, and it's as bare bones as it gets right now. We have a couple things thrown in here right now. This is our hemp wool that we're using in the walls. It actually is made of hemp and wool fibers. R13 rating, so it's really good. It's really dense for sound deadening. Just one part of the process of helping insulate our vans. But like I said, we're gonna be taking you through the process of putting in the flooring, putting in our wall framing, putting in the electrical, putting in all of our ceiling struts. It's gonna be the first one for us to show you guys beginning to end, and we're really excited about it. We left off last time with the blank canvas, right? And now we're actually on day 2 of the van build. We have our floor in. All of our stringers were put under the floor, insulation under the floor. Kyle right now is working at getting some struts in for the air conditioning we just put up on top. But you can see we also have all of our wiring that's been pulled through the walls. We have our plumbing that's been pulled along the walls as well. Looks pretty quick and dirty as this stuff comes along. But we've also marked where a lot of our outlets are gonna be, where our water is gonna be coming through the walls, things like that, just so we can have a nice accurate placement of all of our componentry. It comes together quick, but it does come together organized, so it makes it easier for a later stage of wiring everything up. Here's actually one of our built-out wall frames that will be going in the van, up in the front behind the driver's seat, on the driver's side. Another thing to add here is this one is gonna have a second row seat. So we've added that into the floor. Other things like this, we can tell from that wiring harness, it will be also getting a heater on top of our air conditioner. We'll be adding an Ebersprocher heater for extra climate control to the van. Day 3. So we're day 3 in the van. Kind of where we left off, we'll start top down. We have our red cedar in with our 1/2-inch insulation up top. And then you can see as we're coming down the walls, we have all of our stringers and our wall framing in. And then the wires are kind of starting to line up and come through where we're gonna be putting outlets and other switches and components. We also have some of our insulation starting to get held in the walls. Even on the doors and everything, we have our red cedar all kind of going up, insulation in there. One thing to note, these little bars here actually have where the cabling comes into the doors. It's on a spring, so if you are insulating your doors on your own, make sure you don't put anything that's gonna impede the actual movement of that as you're closing it up, because we see it happen all the time. People get these kinked, and it's because they don't allow a clear movement of that when they're sealing things up. In here, we got some of our windows cut out now. Come around the edge. What we do is we cut out the windows, and then we do prime them to make sure that there isn't any issues of rust or any contamination of water getting back there and kind of causing issues with bare metal, right? And then we have our window cut out for the slider door, coming together pretty quick, and we're excited about showing you guys the next steps. Day 4 of the build, we can see a couple other components have been added. One thing to show you real quick that we always do is we do a pressure test on all of our water tanks. So we plug this little guy in here, we pressure test it and make sure that the tank doesn't have any leaks in it. It says water leaks are no good for anybody. You can see that we have our water enclosure actually put into the van right now. It just doesn't have the tank in yet. Our bed face is on there, and we kind of have some of it coming in and looking a little bit more like a house. Some of the cutouts for our outlet boxes and switch boxes. We have everything cut out to receive our actual window boxes. These are our bump outs that we pre-make before they go in the van to give you that extra space so we can get a nice 74, 75 inches of sleeping head to toe, side to side. That's it for day 4 at the moment. So today is day 5.5, because we're about a little way into the day today. As you guys saw, we had the water tank all set to go. Now all of our plumbing connections have been made. Water tank has been installed. We have our water heater in. Some of the electrical has been hooked up and getting that all set. Some of the other things, you saw the bump outs before. Those have been installed and finished. So last thing for those guys is going to be just some finished trimmer on the edges. Let's go around this side. You can see some of this comes together pretty quick now on the inside. Kitchenette's in, benches are in. So these are great avenues for us to kind of speed up the process with some of our new manufacturing practices and kind of get it so cut timelines down. This being one of our rental vans, it's a great thing for us to be able to turn it around quickly, get it on the road for people to start enjoying the great outdoors. But as you can see today, 5.5, things start to come together pretty quick. Right now we are calling it day 8, right? Because we're at 5.5. We skipped a couple days. Water enclosure is coming together. We got some hardware on it, and it's basically getting ready for its little door that will enclose it. And it is part of our bed platform as well as our electrical system. And the electrical systems that we build them externally outside of the van so we can test them completely on a bench before we bring it in. And now we're literally just wiring it to the van. You can see some of the hardware. We got big boy crimp here for some of our larger cable lugs, heat gun, wire stripper, and a whole bunch of heat shrink and other fun stuff like that, just to kind of tidy up the work and make everything look pretty and clean and neat and safe. Some of the other stuff we got going. Fancy microwave up there for your frozen burritos. We got our seat caps over our second seat rails here. Other things, all the bench tops are on. We have our pull-out tray and all that stuff set here for the toilet. So day 8, and she's moving along quick. I think we're gonna beat the 14-day timeline that we were trying to have the guys rush for. Welcome to 2025 here at Boho. We skipped a few more days again. Holidays got a little crazy, but Florence is done. So what we had to do at the end here to wrap this whole project up, we brought it back, and obviously all this is put together now. So our water system has been tested, 27 gallons of fresh water, another 5 gallons of hot water. So we're 32 gallons on board. So that's all been tested over there. So we come over here to our electrical system. We've done our 4 100 amp hour Battleborn batteries. So we have 400 amp hours on board. We're pairing that with Victron components. So we have a solar controller, we have a DC-DC charger up front. So that's a nice pairing of charging when you're out on the road if you can't get to a shore power plug-in. The Multiplus back here is our inverter and charger. So right now it's in float mode, means the batteries are all topped off and everybody's happy. But we do have it plugged in right now, just kind of showing off a shore power availability if you were at a campsite and you wanted to plug in. Kind of gives you unlimited power, really, to be honest. We have the floor caps here. These are all finished. We seal them in case they get wet so they don't warp or anything, but we got them all finished with our laminate. This is going to be going in for maybe the first rental trip is going to go out with some extra passengers. Showing off our second sleep surface converted down from the benches. That is 68 inches wide by 48 inches deep. And that's going along with our 75-inch bed and 54-inch wide bed. The other things that are basically all done and tested in here, we have an Ebersprocher heater that will help you heat up, even out here in Arizona. It's getting a little cold up by the Grand Canyon with some snow up there. We also have an air conditioner that's going to add to some comfort, even if it gets warmer during the days. We have our Max Air fan, just to create a nice cool breeze if that's all you need. Battery monitoring right over here on the wall. We have our BMV 700. That's just going to tell you kind of where you're at and make sure that you feel good and comfortable about the power that we're getting to use for our refrigerator, which could be very important. As you're sitting out, fridge freezer combo. So we have our nice handy frozen. That cold, Sienna?
Yeah.
So you can chicken breasts, ice cream, even better. Take it on the road with you. But other things that, Florence is going to be going out with people.
We have a little storage area for pots and pans and cutlery that kind of helps you just hit the road once you get in by us. Grocery store, go on your adventure, and we are super happy with the timeline this came together. We skipped a few days because we had to bounce off and on it with some other builds we had going on, but the total build time of this van was about 12 days. So came together really quick, came together super clean and neat, and so really proud of the guys and the team of how they did that. But our build time on this van really kind of shows that we're going to be adding quite a few vans to the rental fleet this year. So we're super pumped about that, so please stay tuned.